Most kitchen renovations focus on either looks or function. We insisted on both. When we redesigned our kitchen, we made every decision with two goals. It had to be beautiful and it had to work effortlessly every day.
Today we're walking you through the whole renovation, what we got right, what we do differently, including one big expensive component that we'd absolutely do differently. We made that decision in part because it's very trendy, but it was an expensive mistake, and we'll tell you all about it later in the video.
But first, let's talk about what we got right. We made almost every lower cabinet a pull-out, including our full pantry. And one detail that made a big difference, we customized the height of each pull-out based on what we actually store. That's what gives us easy access to larger items like our Instant Pots without wasting space.
We built in features that keep the kitchen clean without effort. Pull-out trash and recycling, dedicated pull-out for water bottles. These aren't flashy, but they make the kitchen feel organized all the time.
We use bins to keep everything grouped, but the most effective system we use is even simpler. We use a Sharpie marker and write the use-by date in large numbers on packaged foods. That way, we see it instantly.
I think Ellen may have invented that.
Yeah.
And when we have multiples, we keep the earliest dates in front. It's simple, but it dramatically reduces waste and keeps everything moving.
Our spice drawer is one of our favorite upgrades. Everything is visible at once, so we actually use what we have. We also make sure our pantry fits large canisters, which keeps staples organized and easy to access.
We added 2 Lazy Susans to solve the corner cabinet problem. Nothing gets lost, and everything is easy to reach. We put our main kitchen lighting on a dimmer, which makes a big difference throughout the day. But if we were doing it again, we would absolutely add under-cabinet lighting.
But that's not the big mistake Bill hinted at before. That one's still coming.
Right. This is something we can actually fix pretty easily. The kitchen can get dark at night, and adding extra lighting would improve both usability and safety.
Shifting gears, we know it's popular right now to have a single level counter, but we chose to keep a 2-level counter by the sink. By choosing functionality, we did 3 things. First, we prevent water from spilling toward the dining area. We also keep the kitchen mess out of sight from the dining room. And when we're entertaining, we have an easy buffet setup.
Speaking of the sink area, we chose a large, double-sized sink that's very deep and paired it with dish racks that are space efficient. The extra large sink makes it easier to wash larger pots and pans.
And one of the dish racks rolls up for easy storage under the sink. When we need to use it, it sits over the sink and can support heavy pots, so we keep the counters clear and the water drips into the sink.
Additionally, we wanted to keep flexibility since you can't easily make changes to a slab once it's cut and installed. Ellen keeps thinking about installing a reverse osmosis system under the counter. I've been somewhat resistant to that, and we weren't ready to make that decision when we did the renovation. So we kept our flexibility by having the quartz counter cut to accommodate either a reverse osmosis system or an instant hot water spigot, and in the meantime, we're using that space for a soap dispenser. Have you put in a reverse osmosis system or installed something else in that spot? Let us know in the comments. We'd really appreciate it.
We like to cook and have a 5-burner gas cooktop. We also made room for a large double oven. When we first bought our house, it came with a teensy double oven. We could barely fit things into it. Once when we were hosting a large open house, I needed to take some of Bill's famous stuffed dates out of the oven. They were on a half-sheet pan, so not the largest pan in the world.
Well, the heat from the oven caused the pan to expand, and it got stuck in the hot oven. We couldn't get it out until the oven cooled down.
We did our kitchen renovation in 3 phases, and because of that incident, we began our kitchen renovation with appliances. We insisted on getting the largest double oven we could fit in the space. I think there was only about 1/8 of an inch of cabinet on either side once it was installed.
The double ovens are great. Not only can you make sure you're using a rack that's at a comfortable height for you, which is especially important as you get older. Having a double oven also means that you can cook at 2 temperatures at the same time, or Use one oven for cooking and the other for keeping things warm. If you cook or entertain, you'll appreciate these every time.
Now, ovens have been getting larger, and because our ovens are still on the small side by today's standards, when we picked out our cabinets, we made sure we'd have room for an even larger double oven when it's time to replace the current appliances.
Now let's talk about the big thing that we got really wrong. One decision we would absolutely revisit is our quartz countertops. They're gorgeous.
They really are.
But they're not as low maintenance or as durable as we expected.
Not even a little bit.
You can't use many conventional cleaners, and they're very heat sensitive. We have to use silicone mats or pot holders on the counter to prevent the counters from getting damaged. This forces us to hide their beauty, which was the very thing that sold us on them in the first place. We would take a much closer look at alternatives next time.
A kitchen can be beautiful, but if it doesn't function well, you'll feel it every day. When you get both right, that's when it really works.
We're wondering what renovations you've done to your kitchen and whether you'd revisit any of those decisions. Or, if you're in the planning stage, whether you have any questions for us about our decisions. Please put your answers or questions down in the comments below. Either way, if this was helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more practical ideas on travel, home, food, and enjoying life after 50.
Better living starts now.
See you next time.